you're essentially being in high school as a Muslim kid, like you're the black sheep, right? Like unless you're going to a Muslim high school, you're the black sheep, and everyone else around you is dating, and everyone else around you is having relationships, and maybe sometimes they're experimenting with recreational drugs, and it's like the amount of times that you have to be like no, I still feel like now is more than, let's say, if you were going to school 200 years ago, 300 years ago. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the perspective that I'm approaching it from. What's your opinion on that? Just go for it.
So I'm just going to do a quick activity with you, Abby.
All right, go for it.
Can you see me?
I can't.
Why can't you see me?
Well, it's blocked. You're putting something in the way.
So even though I got all this around me, you couldn't see me because you were focused on that, right? That was blocking everything else.
Yeah.
And so my message to youth always in that is we focus on the haram. So you just listed all the things I can't do. I can't go to dances. I can't date. I can't dress a certain way. But there's so much else going on. There's so many more opportunities and blessings that we have. And this is where like parenting is huge. And I love talking about parenting and tarbiyah as well. So again, it's easy. Adam alayhi salam, Shaitan made him focus only on the one thing he couldn't have. He had all of Jannah, and Shaitan made it seem that you can't. This is the one tree, and so we make that the focus, and so our energy flows where our focus goes, right? Yeah. And so we can focus on all those things that we can't do. But I grew up in Canada. I went to high school here. I was actually I was the only hijabi in my high school. One of like maybe 5 is like a massive high school, and in my university campus, I was actually one of the only hijabis in all my classes in a very Caucasian city. And so you get to decide, what am I going to focus on? There's other opportunities, or like high school, university. There's so many opportunities to grow, join clubs, and that's where parent and the foundation at home has to feed that. Right. That's where you give strength and courage to your child, to these youth. So again, I understand that there's, social media and phones are a huge distraction. Adults struggle with it. They're in healthy addictions, but it's easy to, again, just place that blame and be like, well, it's because of this, it's hard now. Well, there were challenges before too. I think it's, what do we choose to focus on? Do we see it as an obstacle? Yes, I've got to overcome it. I've got to do some work to make sure I don't give into that. So I think what the youth are facing today, there's new components and complexities, but it's not something that people before didn't face either. So the conversation comes back to what's happening at home. When you see Habib, right? This past weekend, yes, bittersweet, his retirement, but you got to love, mashallah, his character. You got to love what his parents instill. It's just the boldness he has with his relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does not give a crap. And that's the kind of attitude, when I say go to war with shaitan, that's the kind of attitude we have to have. And so it's easy to say, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And I'm Muslim and there's so much Islamophobia in Quebec. It sucks. But if I know who I am, and if we show up Habib style, we're good, right? But it's nurturing that courage, and grown adults are struggling with that courage. And this is why we do need support. We need, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with the Jamaat. He's with the community. And that's a larger conversation on all these feed into it. But we have a breakdown of community in our family, even before COVID, right? And it's not unique to the Muslim community. This is happening on a larger scale, even in the non-Muslim community. People are so isolated, and we keep thinking, well, that's okay, or I don't need people. The shaitan comes after the lone sheep. So if parents are watching this, plant those seeds young, give your children courage in their identity as a Muslim. You are the first God figure in their life. The studies show that the relationship a parent has with their child, if it's healthy, the child will stay upon the deen, into the religion. If you have an unhealthy relationship, it's going to affect the relationship with God. That's so powerful. So I get really excited talking about parenting because, again, I think so many parents have accepted learned helplessness. And I did notice this in Montreal, I'll be honest, even in the university community and professionals, this idea of I have to go to this, even though it's in a bar, because I won't get a promotion. This learned helplessness that I don't have a choice. And I counter that big time. I don't think that's acceptable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will always be with you when you hold on to that rope. But you've got to first have courage and yaqeen that Allah is with me and Allah will give me my halal risk. Allah will give me that courage, and I promise you, you will be respected more for holding on to your values than someone who falls for everything.
Assalamu alaikum. You've just watched a clip from our Ummahpreneur Live Podcast, where I interview high-level Muslim entrepreneurs at the top of their game to break down business, mindset, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship from an Islamic perspective. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more and make sure to check out the full interview that's linked in the description below this video. I'll see you there. Assalamu alaikum.